This lesson covers lesson practice number 1 from set 1 from this section of the notes. And it's on using the absolute value function in your calculator. So let's read the instructions. Use option 1 from the number menu to evaluate each absolute value expression. So I'm going to just do this first one, and what I need to do is I hit math. I need to arrow over to the number menu. And the first choice is absolute value. So I'm just going to hit enter. And just type in 14, close my parenthesis, hit enter, and my answer is 14. So let's write that down. And then I'm going to do this one at the end here. It's a little bit more complex. Scoot this over, and let's go to our math menu again and arrow over to number menu. Choose option 1, and let's type in everything. 3, and then I'm going to use another parenthesis to group the 2 plus 5, minus 10, close that parenthesis, and let's just double check this. I have my parentheses paired up there and my parentheses for my absolute value function paired up. So hit enter, and I have 11 as my answer. So let's write that down. And then go ahead, finish lesson practice number 1 and lesson practice number 2, and just enter them in as you see them, and then go on to the next clip. This video clip covers lesson practice number 1 from set 2 from this section of the notes. And the instructions read, use option 8 from the number menu to determine the least common multiple for the set of numbers. So let's move this up here, and we're going to find the least common multiple for 4 and 10. To do that, we are going to hit the math button, go over to the number menu again, and this time we're going to have to arrow down and look for least common multiple, LCM. Hit enter, and I'm going to enter my 4 and use a comma to separate it from the 10. Close the parenthesis, and when I hit enter, the calculator is going to find the least common multiple for these two, and the least common multiple is 20. So let's write that down. The LCM of 4, let me erase that, of 4 and 10 is equal to 20. So let's go and do this third problem here where I have 3 numbers, because on the calculator you're not allowed to enter 3 numbers at one time into this least common multiple function. You can only do 2 numbers at a time. So when you come across 3 numbers in which you need to find the least common multiple for, you enter the first 2 in. Oh, I need to arrow over to the number menu. Go down to option 8. Hit enter. Enter the first 2 numbers in, 7, 14. Close the parentheses, hit enter. And so the least common multiple between those 2 is 14. So let me just write that down. And then you're going to use this number with this number right here one more time in our calculator. So hit math. I believe it was option 8 from the number menu, so I'm just going to hit 8, and I'm going to enter 14, comma, 21, close my parenthesis, hit enter, and we have a least common multiple of 42 for all 3 of these now. So let's write this down. Least common multiple, oh, let's just keep it lowercase like the other one. Least common multiple of 7, 14, and 21 is 42. So go ahead and finish the rest of lesson practice number 1 and do lesson practice number 2, and then you'll be ready to go on to the next clip. This video clip is going to cover lesson practice number 1 from set 3 in this section of the notes. And what we're going to do here is we're going to use the greatest common divisor function in the graphing calculator. Now, your teachers may refer to this as G GCF, which is greatest common factor. So greatest common divisor, greatest common factor, same thing. I do not know why they chose to name it that, but they did. But just know that the two are equivalent. So we're asked to find the greatest common divisor, and we're going to use option 9 from the number menu to do this on all these problems. So hit Math, go over to the number menu, option number 9. I'll arrow down for this one so you can see it. So now number 9 is GCD. Remember, GCF, GCD, same thing. And type in 12, and again, make sure you separate it with a comma. And so the greatest common factor or divisor of 12 and 20, when I hit enter, is 4. So let's write that down. So the GCD, 12 and 20 is 4. So let's go ahead and do one of the ones with 3 numbers in it. Just going to scoot that over, bring the calculator back up, hit clear, and hit Math, go over to the number menu, and it was option 9. I'm just going to hit 9 this time, and there it is, GCD. And if you remember from the last clip, we can only enter 2 numbers at one time. So just do the 20 and the 30 first. Hit enter, and we have our greatest common factor of 10. So let me write that down. Because now, if you remember correctly, I used this number down here with this number up here. So hit clear, hit Math, option 9 from the number menu, and enter in 10, 55. Hit enter. And so the greatest common divisor for all 3 of these is 5. So let's go to here and write down GCD of 20, 30, and 55 is equal to 5. So go ahead, finish lesson practice number 1, and go on to lesson practice number 2, and then you'll be set for this section of the notes.